Have you ever felt the sensation of bearing a great load of isolation or a lurking fear and melancholy that remains regardless of what you do in? In this video, we'll examine 12 stern techniques that will assist you in changing these difficult feelings into chances for development and introspection. At times, we may feel overwhelmed by the sensation of being in a crowd, by yourself, or by the impression that nobody knows what we are getting into. Even while the ancient Stoics were renowned for their extraordinary tenacity and bravery, were nothing new to them. Feelings like loneliness or depression was what set them apart. But the lack of these emotions, however, their sensible approach to handling anxiety and loneliness, are feelings. Something, regardless of the source, can impact any of us. Our visible or seeming strength. Consider these treatments as tools in your individual Stoic toolkit, with the intention of repairing your spirit through challenging circumstances and elevate your mood, regardless of how you feel lonely, overburdened, or just trapped. Keep in mind that, similar to your Stoics, make a physical movement. The fortitude within to confront these emotions head-on and come out stronger as a result. When you're prepared to go on and begin a new chapter, in which those feelings are difficulties you are able to overcome, stay with me for the entire video. We'll investigate these timeless together, techniques to not just survive, but also thrive. The first thing to do is move your body more. It's more than just a route to fitness essential tactic to fight isolation and despair. Think of it as a dialogue with your inner self, where every action is made strengthens and prolongs it. Whether you're running, walking, or you are not escape your stretching issues, but proactively moving in the direction of a life that is more tranquil and clear. This procedure is writing a story about growth with each action you do, and each breath you take is an asset to the narrative of your personal awakening enrichment. Let's be honest. Being depressed alone may inspire you to shut off the outside world and snuggle up, yet there is a secret, and being honest is, your body naturally possesses this amazing capacity to combat. The shadows enveloping you cast a blaze that resembles a lighthouse that shines light on the shadowy areas of. You do not need to conquer your mind. Move, climb mountains, run marathons, simply consciously, whether performing a solitary dance either in your living room or on a quick stroll. Every step in the park is a blow. It's a struggle against the bonds of despair. A gentle reminder that you are in charge of able to forge your own route to become a better self-friend. Second, happiness and healing. Treat yourself like your dearest friend, and even though your best friend seems like a twist on age-old knowledge, but it's a strong weapon to combat the shadows of. Consider loneliness and despair for a moment. As you are about to go on a steep ascent, the road leads fully up the mountain of life, of obstacles that appear unsurmountable. You falter, tumble, and sustain injuries. Even you have to make an effort to proceed. Fill yourself with bravery and fortitude, to proceed without passing judgment on yourself or believing that you lack strength or ability. From a different angle, would you criticize a friend for making mistakes? How? Or would you give them a helping hand? With inspiring remarks and faith in their capacity to undoubtedly defeat it, you would give him some assistance, getting up by inspiration to keep taking care of oneself, the same manner in which you handle your friend kindness. Keep in mind that you are not speaking with someone you don't like. Best friend set aside the harsh friendship without self-criticism. Isn't regarding pleasant things or phony consolation. It concerns the frank honesty of appreciating your value when you're the slightest sense of being worthless. Severe self-talk blocks love's entrance. And the connection we yearn for attempt to alter, the enemy's narrative that plays in your head. You are not a horrible person, Allie, an intricately sophisticated human being. This comprehension is growth capable. The secret to not just opening yourself up, however, throwing open the door to a universe when your light is visible to others. Stoic cure, everlasting in its knowledge that implores you to stand alone. The third friend is content. Pursuing dreams by making some progress, and fail at something else seems like the never-ending pursuit of happiness. Travel with brief periods of shadowing accomplishment and an unquenchable thirst for more of this. Never stop hunting obscures the splendor of the present circumstances that result in a paradox where Upon success, there is a feeling of increase your level of satisfaction. Unhappiness is a narrative in and of itself, typical among people who have experienced the spotlight just to discover who they are. Managing a sense of emptiness requires, for instance, the narrative of an actor who, despite receiving high praise on a cherished TV program, discovered himself enmeshed in a network of nervous unhappiness, yearning for more prominence in the movie world. Their encounters highlight a significant reality. We rarely feel happy found in accolades or accomplishments, but in the bond we establish with. To be satisfied with oneself, we must embrace the current, acknowledging and valuing our current standing, without collapsing victim of ongoing comparisons or searches. Because of what we lack, it's about discovering fulfillment on our path, although acknowledging that the hunt for more frequently serves to distance us from the joy we pursue with this strategy is not just makes depression or loneliness worse, but modifies our viewpoint by encouraging us to treasure the present and discover delight in existence's simplicity, instead of compared to the difficulty of reaching number 4 glance up. Picture yourself standing on a plot of land you claim as your own, sensing its vastness extend beneath. Only your feet to find out how big it really is, observed from an aircraft or spacecraft. All of a sudden, what appeared limitless now reflects a tiny dot in the center of an like-woven fabric. This insight is not new. It is echoed from the past, when Marcus Augustus, who oversaw an empire that acknowledged the significance of removing oneself and observed his realms like ants on a piece of bread. This lens serves as a reminder that life's cycles, the changing generational landscape, and the look down from above. Perpetual recurrence of human dance. Nature is not exclusive to the modern era. Individual struggles. The times we think about monuments are merely reflections of themselves, of an everlasting history. By strengthening our perspective, we discover that our worries are smaller than recognize and appear to be unimportant instants, bind us to the everlasting human feel, it as an invitation to accept a more expansive viewpoint, finding solace in the clarity and humility of realization that we are a component of a larger, broader narrative that has developed over. This change in vision over millennia does not minimize our experiences, but instead links us to the vastness of life itself, imploring us to discover purpose in the largest as well as the smallest, and acknowledge the lasting power and robustness that has consistently been at the number 5, the center of the human spirit. Learn to endure suffering alongside others, significant magic and power in the group endeavor to tackle challenges. Whether ascending the terrifying heights of a mountain, the coordinated cadence of a team of rowers against the morning mist, or the quiet that engulfs a meditation group in the midst of the chaos, their collective thoughts, these encounters away from the solitary trials thus far of swimming or running, enable us to create deeper ties than just companionship. They serve as a reminder that our struggles are not battled separately, but are shared by fighters with the same spirit. Envision the strength seen in another person's eyes, equally capable and equally exposed, pushing past the discomfort barrier. This is the location of true community. Where it originates in the warmth of group struggle outside of comfort of simple triumphs, use this as a reminder to come on and join those who do not seek just to oppose but to unite in victory. Acquire the ability to endure alongside others, since it is found in the crucible of common challenges that we can identify our genuine power and, consequently, never have to confront the gloom. Alone number 6, seek assistance. Bravery is more than merely overcoming obstacles. It's about knowing when to ask for assistance. Taking on the storm will only strengthen you. However, even the strongest warriors were aware of the worth of a protective wall beside them. Marcus Aurelius was a Stoic person, not just in philosophy, but also in conflict cleared the path for those on foot. Using the shadow's advice to not be too proud to ask for assistance like a soldier assaulting a wall, your goal is to fulfill. And if you've suffered harm, you need a friend to assist you in this. There is much value in ancient wisdom today, particularly for people who experience the weight of the world resting upon their shoulders. Call to arms to fight together rather than alone. Look for your community's legion that is prepared to take the bulk of the fighting. The essence of power is with you. Not rely on quiet suffering, but rather on the bravery to approach and request assistance from rehabilitation circles, support groups when, in their darkest moments, souls discover a shared location where strength is developed. Request assistance. Not via the established hierarchy that not from above, but rather in the unity of mutual assistance and joint struggle. This is evidence of the strength of struggling for collective resilience in the space in the contemporary world where Stoics are created, not born. Thus you are equally. You are navigating the course by asking for aid. Of knowledge that even monarchs possess traveled each time you requested assistance. Each hand raised in unison is a step toward the light and away from the shadows. Light 7F, concentrate on your course, paving your own way. In this busy world necessitates more than merely understanding. Wherever you wish to go, the key is the self-control to continue without. Among the cacophony of sounds, Sebastian reminds for us to become conscious of our voyage, not being sidetracked by the numerous pathways that come together to form ours. This age-old knowledge serves as a reminder that the true difficulty is not in mapping our course, but in fending off the enticement to deviate from the route. Drawn by the accomplishments and setbacks experienced by those around us. It's an assessment of your confidence and discipline that compels us to pay attention to our objectives and timetables, without giving in to the diversions that flood our everyday existence. Accepting this road is realizing that each person's every trip, including ours, is different. When we cease equating our accomplishments with that of others, we find a profound sense of intent and fulfillment. This comprehension is not simple, but it takes ongoing work to conquer the ego and the constant look for approval. But the payoff is the independence from comparison to follow our goals, without the shadow of uncertainty or envy centered on our. Concentrate on your route. We also need to develop resilience that shields us from isolation and despair, which frequently appears when we feel disparate from the 8th-ranked player in the world. Recall that nothing is permanent. Life has a peculiar way of balancing the sphere of influence where our activities ends in quiet. At the same time, Julius Caesar, Marcus Aurelius noted, even the most modest Roman citizen and Caesar provide the identical parting speech under the earth serves as a potent reminder of our aims for notoriety, significance, or eternity, is simply a fleeting whisper with the backdrop of the history of eternity. Shows us that grandeur is a guest, not a permanent resident. Notoriety, and appeal false sense of significance entices with promises of eternal life. But occasionally, it may abandon us to linger in the darkness of forget this knowledge. It's not a reason for hopelessness, but an appeal to our attempts made outside of acclaim sands, but in the soil of morality to be raised. Good will commit ourselves to doing good. We can focus and act here and now. On steering our lives through choppy waters, these are the lighthouses of life that lead us through the transient mist, as it is ultimately not the audience's cheers, but the caliber of our deeds and the truthfulness of our, personality that deeply resonates roots within the river of time. Number 9. Accept hardship, each and every setback, every revelation, every difficulty. Recall that everything is transient, and any discomfort you experience is not a warning to back off, as the universe a special method of asking you to participate in a test of power in a fight against destiny. Seneca whispering to us across time, echoing that, the less traveled path is abundant with through difficulty. We discover our actual confidence in their ability to glide smoothly. While having quiet waters is nice, it's the storms that disclose the inner commander of us when circumstances don't match it's tempting to live in desire's disappointment. But that's exactly what terrible hardships, the front, and our resistance face that transforms into improved iterations of personally. It is during the times when we are trapped in conflict, when plans fail, remote, and dreams appear far away from us, are presented with a fantastic opportunity, which not about hoping for a life that is simpler, but about using combat to tame the chaos and coming out smarter and stronger. Acknowledge that every exam is a teaching resilience, a moral habit, and a step toward greatness. Keep in mind the victory's sweetness is never as fulfilling without having the unpleasant flavor of fights waged and barriers surmounted. So, when the world doesn't follow your rhythm dance anyway, as it is included in these unscripted moments that you are producing a better, more contented existence. Number 10. Do not suppress your feelings of loneliness, or being depressed might resemble having a mountain on your shoulders, but keep in mind, accept adversity, that even the most learned minds in antiquity battled giants like Seneca in the past using his pen. While he composed 4 of his most poignant writings, he comforted her and talked to her spirit. Her gave her a dark embrace. Ours, Seneca imparted to us an important lesson. As it was back then, it's not about clad in a suit of apathy, but about acknowledging the emotional turmoil and moving through it in a way that is not prisoner, but given that its instructor seeing why a cloud of experiencing sadness is the first step, but being aware that it's acceptable to feel understanding, the intricacy of human relationships are where real power lies. It's a mental dance between the heart, each person assuming the lead as circumstances demand it. So when the burden of loneliness, or melancholy terrible, keep in mind that you are not being equally afraid to keep quiet, but instead, listen to it in order to comprehend it, and understand that occasionally, the road is not concerning acceptance, rather than repression. Additionally, wisdom number 11. Look for quiet times, the benefit of silence in a world where never ends. Moving, scrolling, and speaking may appear to be a long-kept secret, yet it is especially a soul remedy. When melancholy or loneliness come calling, consider yourself a rock in your door, the midst of the fury of the ocean, as Marcus. Unwavering in the face of, as Aurelius states, the waves of anxiety, uncertainty, and isolation that collide with you, has nothing to do with putting aside the bustle. Focus on locating. In the middle of it, slow down your breathing to calm your thoughts and plant. Don't hold back your feelings, keeping your feet firmly planted in this. A still moment is more than just a pause. That's the location where magic occurs. Relationships strengthen, and creativity blossoms, and happiness bubbles up from inside of it. This quiet that you'll discover the fortitude to confront the world as it revolves around you, but only if you decide to take it on by accepting stillness. You pick up the dance after surviving the storm, of waves that are turning with grace depression and loneliness into moments of profound serenity and objective. Number 12. X. Accept the situation as it arises. Embrace reality as it is. Life's whirlwind makes it simple to become lost at sea. However, there is a strong remedy for the isolation and sadness that frequently accompanies our relentless search for alternatives, results admitting reality, as it is not about succumbing to hopelessness or recognizing that acknowledging loss is important. The harmony concealed inside char, the unexpected lessons on disappointment. Accepting the erratic nature of existence and the here and now, even though it is not the one we want, so we open a profound clarity and serenity. This passivity is not the point of view. Rather, it is a request to participate in life on its own words to determine our goal and contentment with the way reality is playing out. Imagine your life as a river surrounding us. You can oppose the flow by depleting as you attempt to swim back to a past instant or even into the future swiftly, or by floating, and let the water will carry you wherever it pleases. Finding delight in the adventure and having faith in the scenery that you see along the route is the essentially. It teaches us to value each turn, realizing that every individual has a function in forming our destiny. Being Marcus Aurelius, a representative of the whispers from the past pulling us through time for us to observe that what we fuel the flames of our lives is happiness, victory, or failure, propels our development and illuminates our way to magnificence. By acknowledging our experiences as challenges, but as chances, we develop resiliency and a strong sense of loyalty. These 12 Stoic cures for contentment are not merely words. Put them into effect in the deepest moments of isolation and depression, and you'll learn that your life is meant to be filled with tenacity and profound fulfillment. That's for today's video. Please share with us your encounters with the Stoic discipline and your thoughts on this difficult subject that we have spoken about. Please like us if you enjoy the topic of today, and become a channel subscriber so that we can carry on, taking the Stoic route, collectively gaining knowledge and developing in it strong discernment.